So good morning, beloveds, catching this later on our YouTube channel, Unity of Tempe. Welcome. I'm Reverend Mitzi, and we are just thrilled that you are joining us online. So today we're continuing our series, Blessed, in which we're unlocking the promises as we examine the Beatitudes from the Sermon on the Mount in Matthew. And each beatitude begins with what word? Blessed. Yes. And it consists of two parts, the condition and the result. And we reap these blessings as we live in alignment with these states of beings. And so if you missed either of the first 2 weeks, you can catch them on our YouTube channel. I encourage you to go there and subscribe. We only post, for those of you, we only post the message. We don't post the entire service. So coming here, you get a lot more. So come be with us in person and get more, because as they say, wait, there's more. So this morning, we're looking at the third beatitude, and that is, let us say it together. Oh, where did it go? Okay. There it is. All right, let's say it together. Blessed are the meek, for they shall inherit the earth. Well, like the other two Beatitudes that we explored, without greater understanding, this doesn't seem to make a lot of sense, does it? I mean, meek inheriting the earth seems counterintuitive to what we see in history and even in our current reality. But Emmett Fox, who was a unity teacher, said, the things that Jesus taught often seem at first to be foolish and wild. Yet, when correctly understood, Jesus is found not to be a sentimental dreamer dealing in empty platitudes, thank God for that, but rather an unflinching realist that only a great mystic can be. Have you ever had an empty platitude given to you and you know how it feels, right? It feels like nothing. So I really love this. I love this quote from Emmett Fox. But you know what confuses many people, I think, about this beatitude is the word meek, because often that is equated to mean lowliness and weakness and ineffectiveness and submissiveness. But actually, in the context of this beatitude, it's really important to look at the Greek word praus. And that is translated as meek. It's not a direct translation, but that is where the word meek originated from. And it implies controlled strength as a result of mildness of disposition and gentleness of spirit. And praus is really indicative of Jesus' approach to power and authority. It was not something to be yielded for domination, but he had a very gentle strength that was used to serve and uplift others. Now, some people, not everyone, but some people suggest that praus is also a quality of animals that are tame or gentle with humans, particularly horses that were trained to be calm and obedient amidst the chaos of battle. And these horses retained their power and spirit, but were disciplined to respond to the slightest command of their rider. And actually, I have a little bit of an experience of this. Growing up in London and living on the Edgware Road, which is a main thoroughfare in London, I would often hear click, 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 click. Well, that's not how it goes. How do they do it in Monty Python? With the coconuts. I'd often hear that like times 100. Waking me up in the early hours, and I'd look out of the window. We lived on the 7th floor of a high-rise block, and I'd see hundreds of horses, it seemed like hundreds, of horses of the household cavalry running down the Edgware Road with their riders on their training. And they seemed so in tune with their rider, horse and rider. So there is gentleness in praus, but behind the gentleness is strength of steel. And this is the idea behind the meaning of the word meek in this beatitude. In other words, to be meek is to surrender our limited power to a power greater than ourselves and recognize that that power can support us in ways that we could never achieve on our own. And it's to open up to that flow of divine power in our lives as the answer to our needs. And it's to be willing to submit wholeheartedly to the flow of Spirit in, through, and as us. And it is to be God-centered over self-centered. It's to be calm and self-controlled, the antithesis of arrogance, anger, and aggression. So now we'll very briefly look at what the word earth means in this beatitude, and why would I want to inherit the earth when I can't even keep my own desk tidy? I mean, why would I want more to inherit, right? But earth in this context does not mean merely the planet that we reside on. Earth refers to manifestation, so to inherit the earth means to bring the conditions of our life into harmony. Jesus says we are blessed as we do this through meekness, and we become more God-centered and less self-centered. So those who are meek have a spirit of gentleness, humility, and self-control. They are patient, free from malice, not easily angered, and emulate the nature of Jesus. And they are not intoxicated by power, nor are they possessed by a spirit of vengeance or personal vendettas. Oh my goodness, should we send this to Congress? Didn't say that. Such meekness is not weakness, it is carefully directed power. You know, consider some people who you consider to have carefully directed power, perhaps in your own lives or in history, like Gandhi, like MLK, like Mother Teresa, like Malala in our current times, like Nelson Mandela, Desmond Tutu. Anyone else come to mind? So just think on those. Jesus came to change the consciousness of the day, exemplifying love and kindness and grace and humility and oneness. And in his gentle way, he spoke wisdom, even to those who attacked him, except when he was righteously angry. And we can think of in the temple where he just let the money changers have it, didn't he? But he especially had that surrender. And we can think particularly in the Garden of Gethsemane, on the night before his crucifixion, when he prayed, not as I will, but as you will. So we're meek as we surrender, listen, and follow God's guidance. And sometimes it can be a bit challenging to follow that guidance, right? You want me to see my part in that situation, Spirit? You want me to apologize? You want me to reach out to that person? And sometimes we get Spirit's guidance and we just plain don't like it. I don't think so, Spirit. I'm taking the wheel here. I'm doing it on my own. I do not want to do what you are guiding me to do. But other times we can't hear it because we don't take time to listen. How much time do you take time? How much time do you take to listen to Spirit's nudging in your life? It's always available to us, but we have to take that time to listen. I love how Reverend Linda shared how she was inspired by the daily word this morning, reading it at home. She was in tune with Spirit's guidance, listening carefully as it directed her this morning. We listen to Spirit's guidance by getting out of our own way and being teachable. And the first step to learning is a realization of our own ignorance sometimes, to say, I have no idea about that. I didn't know about that. I don't know all of that. Quintilian, a great Roman teacher of oratory, is attributed to have said of some of his scholars They would no doubt be excellent students if they were not already convinced of their own knowledge. Isn't that great? When we are teachable, we have access to infinite possibilities, creative thoughts, and divine ideas to bless and prosper us and others. And one person who exemplified living in alignment with the third beatitude was a gardener named Eli. Now, Eli lived in a small village nestled between rolling hills and vast fields. And he was known not only for his lush gardens, but also for his serene demeanor. He moved with gentle grace, spoke with a soft voice, and treated every living thing with respect and kindness. And one day a traveler came to the village, drawn by stories of Eli's magnificent garden. And the traveler was surprised to find that, unlike the other gardens that were fenced and guarded, Eli's garden was open for all to enjoy. Curious, the traveler asked Eli, "Why do you not protect your garden? And are you not afraid that people will take advantage of your hard work?" Eli smiled and replied, "The beauty of the garden is not mine to hoard. The flowers bloom not for me, but for everyone to enjoy. By sharing the beauty, I am blessed with the joy of the community. This garden is my way of being in harmony with the world." And the traveler spent the day in the garden, marveling at the harmony between plants, animals, and people. Eli, in being authentically himself, had inherited the earth, not in the literal sense, but by using his gifts to create a space where the divine qualities of peace, of love, of abundance, of generosity, of tranquility were manifest for all to experience. Luke chapter 6, verses 43 and 45 says, "A good tree doesn't produce bad fruit, nor does a bad tree produce good fruit. Each tree is known by its own fruit. People don't gather figs from thorny plants, nor do they pick grapes from prickly bushes. A good person produces good from the good treasury of the inner self, while an evil person produces evil from the evil treasury of the inner self. The inner self overflows with words that are spoken." And we don't talk a lot about evil in unity, but just think of it as someone who's not living in alignment with the divine, in alignment with the highest and best, in alignment with oneness. So you can think of it that way. So the way we view our life, the way we live our lives, tells other people who we are before anything else does. The way that we live is like a calling card for other people. And there's a modern version of the third beatitude in the Message translation of the Bible. I really love this version. It says, let's say it together, "You're blessed when you're content with just who you are. No more, no less. That's the moment you find yourselves proud owners of everything that can't be bought." I love this, and I put it back up here. Be you, like our opening song said. Being you. The moment you are content with who you are, you begin to inherit the earth and things that can't be bought. Qualities that are the truth of your being. Love and joy and peace and patience and kindness and gentleness. So we open up. Let's open up to the truth of our being. So this beatitude is not about being shy or retiring or afraid of standing up for things that are important. It is about being authentically you. We're blessed when we're content with who we are, and we don't have to tell others how great we are. If someone has to tell you how great, how intelligent, how rich, how right they are, there's cause for alarm. A Unity Daily Word from 1940. Yes, 1940. Put it this way. It is the strong who are meek. In their strength, they know that there is no need for presumption or aggressiveness. It is the great soul who can express the grace of humility. Whenever a person is great, it's because he has sought to be the servant, not the master of others. Jesus taught, "Blessed are the meek, for they shall inherit the earth." In the act of washing the disciples' feet, he gave the perfect example of humility. If you would live richly as Jesus did, be meek. You need not be concerned about your reward, for you shall inherit bountiful good. So here are some actions and affirmations to support all of us in achieving the blessings of the third beatitude. Recognize true strength comes from within, from following Spirit's guidance, and is characterized by self-control, gentleness, and humility. And let's say the affirmation together. My strength is balanced with gentleness and self-control. I am open to the flow of divine wisdom in my life. Reflect on your interactions. Consider how you can exhibit more gentleness in your relationships with others. I love this affirmation so much. Let's say it together. I am a vessel of peace, and my presence brings calmness to every situation I encounter. Isn't that what we want to be in the world? That our presence, just even by just walking into a space, we give calmness. And calmness doesn't necessarily mean not excited or exuberant. It just means that we're not antagonistic or aggressive. Because I consider myself mostly calm. I can get pretty irate at times. I'm not going to lie. But I'm also a very what would you say, exuberant person at times. But that calmness. Let's say it again. I am a vessel of peace, and my presence brings calmness to every situation I encounter. If there was one thing we wanted to affirm every day, it might be that. Especially when we're driving and someone cuts us off or something else, right? Who wants to cultivate patience in their life? More patience. Yes. In situations where you might feel impatient or frustrated, take a deep breath. Let's do it. And remind yourself of the power of a calm and gentle response. And let us say this together. My gentle spirit guides my actions, creating harmony in my relationships and environment. Oh, I love that so much. Engage in selfless service. Embrace the spirit of giving by volunteering your time and resources without seeking reward. Let your actions reflect a heart of service and a commitment to the well-being of your community. Let's say this. In every act of service, I am planting seeds of compassion, nurturing a garden of community and connection. I am blessed in giving, for it is in giving that I receive. We have a little sheet on the front desk about opportunities at your Unity of Tempe community to engage in service. So if you would like to see that afterwards, take one, fill it out. We encourage you to. So as I conclude my message for today, may the insights shared stir the quiet strength that dwells in your heart of gentleness. And as the week unfolds, may the seeds planted here through all of the service flourish. And may the spirit of our gathering beckon you back to this time of fellowship where each of us is both seeker and guide. And now there's a song that starts off with a little bit of a rap beat, so I'm hoping that's okay with you guys. And it's by that group, or the people who put songs together, Fearless Soul. And it really is about showing kindness and showing kindness isn't weakness, it's a strength.
Imagine living in a new world. Imagine living in a place with no hate, where we all love each other. There's more than 7 billion humans. Imagine what we all could accomplish if we came together. All of the best things were created in teams. Just start to think about what we all could achieve. If we gave up the malice and we let go of the greed, there's just no limits and we all could succeed. And so I say,
showing kindness ain't weakness, it's a strength that's inside. The world might not see it, but it just takes some time. You know it starts today, let's make the change to look after each other. We can make the world a better place when we stand together. No matter how rich and talented you are, how you treat people tells all. In a world where you can be anything, be kind.
I choose to be the change I wanna be. I choose to make the change and do the things I wanna see. And I choose to be kind, cause you never know how much another person's suffering inside, hiding behind their pride. We all know life gets rough sometimes, and it's good to help someone up sometimes. A little favor goes a long way, and we can all make a difference in the world today. So I say,
Showing kindness ain't weakness, it's a strength that's inside. Other people can't see it, but diamonds are hard to find. You know it starts today, let's make the change to look after each other. We can make the world a better place when we stand together. No matter how rich and talented you are, how you treat people tells all. In a world where you can be anything, be kind. Who you are is more important than what you have. Choose to lift others up, not because you have to, but because you can. Who you are is more important than what you have. Choose to lift others up, not because you have to, but because you can. You know it starts today, let's make the change to look after each other. We can make the world a better place when we stand together. No matter how rich and talented you are, how you treat people tells all. In a world where you can be anything, be kind. In a world where you can be anything, be kind.
So who feels blessed in their life? Yes. And so let us say together, I am blessed. I am blessed. And as Sandra would say with gusto, I am blessed. Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed we are. Now we'll say together, I am a beloved child of God, here to be an ambassador of good. Yes. And so now it is time for our financial blessings. We share our financial blessings. I invite you to take it to your heart. If you're doing it by phone, take your phone to your heart. Take it to your heart and infuse your love in it. Infuse your kindness in it. Know that as you give, you receive, that it comes back to you a bazillionfold. We are so grateful for each and every person who supports Unity of Tempe. So very, very grateful. That is how we can be here on Sundays. And so we say together, I am a joyful sharer of my good. I remember that as I give, I receive, and that God is my source. Yes, indeed. So you know what? We're going to come up today. Come up to Kent and drop your blessings in there, and just I invite you to do that. That would be help Kent out as well. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you, Kent and Joe. And if you would prefer to give online, here is our Zelle and PayPal. Thank you, Spirit, for these gifts. We bless the giver and the receiver and the stewardship of their use. We bless every prayer that has ever been in the prayer box or ever will be in the prayer box, knowing that the right and perfect answer is on its way. And so it is. Amen. Thank you, Joe and Kent. So on Thursdays, every Thursday at 10 a.m., we have a Zoom call, prayer and support. We'd love you to be on that. And if you're not on our email list, there's a form up here to be on our email list. You'll get an email that will give you the Zoom link. And so it's up here, and you can fill that out. Thank you for all who brought in food last week for our intentional giving to support Matthew's Crossing Food Bank. We really appreciate that. And our next one will be at the end of this month. So you can bring in any non-perishable item anytime. Water. We have an abundance of water right now. In fact, June from Epiphany came over and said, we got a lot of water. And so that is a wonderful, wonderful thing. So continue to bring that water in, because this year, Epiphany is a heat relief station. So Juneteenth is coming up. Juneteenth celebrations. Who's ever been to a Juneteenth celebration? Yes, a few of us have. So this one, we've got two coming up in Tempe. The first one will be on June 15th at the Tempe History Museum. You can see the address. This is all free, and it's on a Saturday. So that will be a wonderful one. I know that some of you have been to this one and really enjoyed it. And the next one, I have been to this one. I haven't been to the other one because it's on a Saturday. Usually Saturday, I'm kind of tied up working on the message for today. But this one I've been to, I am for sure going to this one again. And it is on Sunday. So if anyone wants to go, we could go after church. Don't go earlier than after church. Come to church. We'll go together. This one was fabulous. And you get in free to the Arizona Heritage Center, which is, has anyone been there apart from us? It's great. It's a great museum, and you get in free on that day. And there's all sorts of people there giving away like freebies and things. And you get to learn more about Juneteenth. So I encourage you, that's on the 16th on a Sunday. Let's go as a group. Let's have fun and go together to that one or this one. And I'll keep announcing these. I want each and every person here to know how important you are. You are so very important. You are so important, and you are so loved, and you are so valued, and you are so appreciated. The little things that you do in life and the light that you shine is so necessary, so needed. And your beautiful light, in whatever way you do it, whatever way you share your love, is needed. And I encourage you to know that for yourself more than ever. So I invite you to let someone else know that this week. Tell someone else how important, how loved, how valued they are. And if they're particularly feeling like they don't get it, invite them to be here so that we can tell them as a community. Because everyone needs a place to belong. I got something this week. It's a little toucan, and it says, "This is my happy place." And it says it up there. And I want you to feel that when you come here, no matter what's going on, you feel loved, you feel accepted, supported, and nurtured in life. So let us say together, the light of God surrounds us. The love of God enfolds us. The power of God protects us. The presence of God watches over us. Wherever we are, God is. All is well, and we are grateful. Beloveds who are watching this later online, please know that we would love to see you in person. Have a beautiful week.